Alright, so here's this week's weekly Witch Queen campaign mission. It's the Cunning. This is a solo flawless master run. Famine is the weekly modifier, same as it is for the Nightfalls. Other than that, I'm running a Void Titan subclass, Sentinel. I'm using Sentinel Shield as my super, Rally Barricade, Throwing Shield this time instead of Shield Bash, and Vortex Grenades with Echo of Undermining instead of Suppression Grenades. I'm also using the, Echo of Instability. I can't remember, but it's the one that it causes explosions when you kill enemies with your Void abilities. So it's kind of like volatile rounds for your abilities. So when I have an overshield and I punch and kill, that causes an explosion. It also heals me because I'm using Echo of Leeching. My Sentinel Shield kills will cause explosion, and my Vortex Grenades will cause explosions. So the last time I ran Sentinel Titan on one of the weekly Witch Queen campaign missions was the Ghosts, but that was a little bit of a different mission. The boss is it's a different boss room, and the mechanics are different. It's more of you rely a lot on map rotation in the Ghosts. So I had a different setup all around. I was using suppression grenades, and I think I was like tier 10 strength, discipline, and resilience. But on this mission in particular, you've got the worm to deal with in the boss room, and you've got that scorn sniper mini boss to deal with before that. And that boss room is more of post up in a position and do damage. Also, there are a lot of ad waves in this mission that you can easily just take out with Vortex Grenades. And I felt like using Vortex Grenades. They're pretty much the best Void Grenade in general, and this is a good mission for it. Echo of Undermining, it can be pretty taxing on your stats, but I still managed to get my discipline up to 100, regardless of the negative 20 discipline penalty. So look how box breathing works here on these those yellow bar scorn. Like, I just hold my ADS for a second and a half until I see box breathing proc, and it takes them out like instantly. The overloads on this mission are, I think by far, this is the worst mission out of all the Witch Queen ones for overloads, because they always spawn in pairs pretty much. There's like 2 or 3 single overloads, like the one at the very start. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, like, all the overloads spawn in pairs. So that was another reason why I wanted to use Vortex Grenades. That way, if I can get one stun off or double stun, well, it's easier to get a double stun if you can get them both trapped in a Vortex Grenade. Then the Monarque is just spreading poison to both of them, and you're constantly stunning them both. I wanted to, instead of going with because I was using Shield Throw instead of Shield Bash, I didn't want to go with my 1-2 punch shotgun build for Unstoppables. So I was trying this slug Fortissimo, which I got like a million of them back in season 16 and when Witch Queen released. This one's got 4 times the charm and Vorpal, so I thought it would be pretty good for taking out the Unstoppables. So this is really the first time I used this shotgun, but it did pretty good. So now we're just making our way down to the temple. There's going to be some deep sight resonance that we got to reveal, and then we have some plates to shoot. Now you may have noticed me mentioning on several of the last Witch Queen mission, the weekly ones, with the deep sight and the plates, that the revealing the deep sight was disabled on all of them. So the timer was always just cycling. So like when you'd enter this room here, the plates would already be up, and the timer would be going, the deep sight timer that you see on the left. It was just automatic. You never had to go and reveal the little cloud. So it was actually easier. I thought it was a glitch or something, or maybe they just disabled it for a specific reason. I wasn't really sure, because in the standard campaign, whether it's classic or legendary, you had to go and reveal. And I could have swore on these weekly missions too, like there was plenty of times over the last couple seasons where you still had to go and reveal the deep sight. But yeah, so it looks like they re-enabled the deep sight, which is fine, no big deal. It could actually be a bit of a detriment before, when it was automatically going, because if you're not paying attention to the deep sight timer on the left, the platforms, and like in the section coming up here where you got to reveal the deep sight and it reveals temporary platforms for you to cross, if you weren't paying attention to the timer before, it was easy to just fall off, because when the timer expired, there'd be like a second or two where the platforms would disappear, and then the deep sight timer would automatically kick in again, and the platforms would re-reveal themselves. So now you have complete control over the timer, which is okay. Not a big deal. This is a pretty easy mission. I don't know. This is like this is the third time I've done it. It's one of the shorter ones. As long as you can control the pairs of overloads, then the run should go pretty smoothly up until you get to the boss fight. And the boss fight, I'll show you. There's a little spot where I post up. It's almost like a cheese spot. I've just kind of learned this over time. I used to play on the ground in that back corner of the boss room whenever I did this mission, and it was just an easier spot to survive, because you can control your left angle, control your right angle, and just a lot. And the sniper mini boss wasn't able to snipe you if you're around the right corner in that spot there. But then over time I realized that you can just jump up onto there's kind of like a bulwark type wall that you're hugging. You can jump up onto a ledge there, a couple ledges, and you could still get shot up there, but you can kind of crouch and avoid a lot of the shots, and you obviously avoid all the melee based scorn that are coming at you. So pretty easy spot. You could just stay up there, take care of all the void shielded yellow bar scorns with their totems, and then tick away at the boss until you get rid of that little mini sniper boss, and then you're on to the worm section. And the worm section is even easier. But so here is this should be the last pair of overloads, and then there's a single overload at the other side of the bridge before you enter the boss room. So as long as you take out all the scorn, like all the ads first, then it's a lot easier to take out 2 overloads at once, especially with Monarque, because the poison tick damage, you can rotate your shots from one overload to the next, and you'll never really have to worry about missing a stun and them regening their health. Like, it's not even worth, if you can get a Vortex grenade on them and be spreading poison on the two of them, it's not even worth switching to Taipan. You know, at least not on master difficulty. If you're at level, you know, like if they had like a grandmaster mode for these Witch Queen missions, that'd be a different story. But the Monarque is just does plenty enough damage to the overloads, and it consistently keeps them stunned, consistently keeps them from their health regenerating, which is the important part. So even if it takes you a couple extra seconds to finish an overload completely with the Monarque, it's generally not worth switching over to Taipan unless you know, like, you can land your 2-3 shots and finish them super quick. But for me, I'm playing on controller on PlayStation 5, and I play on PC as well. But same thing, if you're playing on controller, the aim assist in this game is crazy. So if you got two targets that are close to each other, I mean, you may as well just forget about trying to go for precision shots, because the aim assist is actually going to drag your aim to different targets. Typically, whichever one you're not trying to aim for. Like, it's kind of a pain. It also makes it hard to throw grenades sometimes, because if you're aimed in at a target, even if you're not, you know, aimed down sight, if you're just pointing at the target that you're doing weapon damage to, and then you want to stop and throw a grenade, well, you got to aim up so that you can account for the lob of your grenade. But just getting your character to aim up, like, you gotta resist through the stickiness of the aim assist, and by the time you break free of that aim assist cone around the enemy hitbox, then you lose all sensitivity and your aim kind of just goes flying up. That's why you'll see, like, in a lot of my gameplay, I just have these completely random grenades that go, like, way off target, like way over the target's head, and hits a wall like 50 feet above them. It's because the aim assist is like, it's crazy in this game. And I wish there was a way, I wish there was different aim assist settings that you can, so that you can tone it down, or because it screws up my other games. Like, if I try to play other games, I have to readjust for the fact that I have more control over my aim in those games than I do in this game. So here you got these two unstoppables. And I kind of just putz around on them and miss a bunch of shots, and then on the second one I run out of ammo. And then so I stand there like an idiot for a bit and realize that I can go back and get some special ammo. So I waste a little bit of time here, but it's still a short run, so not a big deal. And like I said, I'm just kind of testing out this Fortissimo. So 4th time's the charm. Whatever. I'm not too impressed by it. I guess if my precision was like, if my aim was 100%, then I'd probably like it a bit more. But I found myself having to reload regardless. Like, I was hoping to just one cycle the unstoppables, you know, get a stun off, and then as long as I landed 4 precisions, then I would get more ammo back in my mag, and I figured that should be able to finish an unstoppable off. But if you miss a precision, then you're not proccing your 4th time's a charm, and then you're also not doing as much damage, so you end up having to reload. So it didn't really work as I had planned, but that could just be more user error than anything. Like, I just gotta practice with the shotgun. I've seen people use this gun on like Keitel in Duality, just for like farming the checkpoint, farming Keitel. Like, whoever's using tractor cannon, for example, could be using a slug shotgun with Force times a charm and focused fury or vorpal or whatever, and you know, just constantly land crits. It's kind of a good alternative. So this is the this is that bulwark that I'm talking about, where you can just prop up here. Otherwise, you can just play down on the ground right where I'm at, and you can still stay generally safe. Like, you have enough time to react to all the adds that are coming at you. You don't need to go up here. It's just, like I said, I'm kind of putzing around on this mission, taking my time. So yeah, this guy will almost one-shot you. I'm actually using sniper resistance on my chest piece for that purpose alone, because I mean, it is pretty easy to avoid him. Like, especially like I say, you're back here, whether you're up on the ledge or in the back corner, you can avoid the sniper easily. And then if you got to go expose yourself to him, you know, in order to do damage, well, you see his void gun charge up, and you can hear it charge up before he shoots. So as long as you're paying attention, you can pretty much, you know, make it so that he's not an issue. Otherwise, if you're not at 100% health, I wouldn't risk putting yourself out there and getting sniped by him. Because even at 100, I don't know if he can outright kill you. I think he can. Like, if you're not tier 10 resilience, and you don't have void resist or sniper resist or any of that, he can one-shot you super easy.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like there's anything.
So I still like box breathing on Taipan, but there's definitely been some situations where I wish I just had frenzy going. And then obviously, like, I wouldn't take this into a raid. I do have a random roll with triple tap and firing line, so if I really wanted to use Taipan in a raid, I would just take that in. But for my crafted one, it's kind of just a specialty weapon just for me that I like to use on solo content. Yeah, and so, I mean, you save ammo when you have box breathing, because it's the biggest damage perk that you can get on the gun. It's like 30 to 35% damage extra that you get on crits, just by aiming down sight for a second and a half. So I mean, the trade-off is that you can't spam your shots. You can't quick scope. You literally have to hard scope. Take a shot and then hard scope, take a shot. You know, like you can't spam. But that also plays into landing your shots too, because you're forced to aim a little bit longer. So if you're not if your aim isn't the best at this game, well, being forced to take that extra second and a half is actually helpful. And then not only that, but when you land the shot, you're doing 30 to 35% more damage, which means that you're saving a shot for every 4 shots, basically. Because you're going to be killing targets a lot quicker. So the first wave here with the worm is a bunch of Screeb. They spawn in 3 sections, one in the middle, one left, one right, all up by the worm. And then if you didn't know, the only time that you can damage boss is when his mouth is red. So after he's done shooting his arc blast, then you have like a couple seconds where you can actually damage him. And he's not tanky at all. Like, yeah, I'm using box breathing on Taipan, so that's doing a lot of damage. And it's a linear, so it's super easy to land my shots in that time frame. But yeah, it's like 2 shots, and then he goes away again, and then the next wave comes. So this wave is the worst one, I think, because you've got 2 or 3 ogres, you got a bunch of screeb, including these yellow bar screebs that you can't one shot, you know, just with a primary or whatever. They're my rally barricade with overshield saved me. I would have been dead had I not had that ready. And these ogres with their arc blast can melt you pretty quick too. So I mean, you can pop super there if you really want, but I'm actually holding on to my super for the end, because after this boss fight, then you're gonna have to race along the track with the pike, and get to the elevator to finish the mission on a timer. You have like a minute or something like that. And at the end, right before you go up the elevator, there's 2 overloads. So if you want your platinum rank, and if you want to kill all the champions, then you got to stop there and take care of the overloads. Not to mention the fact that you can't just drive your pike straight through them, because they'll blow you up. So it's probably wise to try and take them out anyways. But yeah, I saved my super there for all the ads, because you're pinched for time. There's a bunch of ads around the overloads. You can, if you get off the pike right before you get to that section, the 2 overloads will be right next to each other, so you can double stun them with Monarque. Even an explosive head on a void bow, like under your skin or whatever, you can double stun them. So originally, I was contemplating using a rocket launcher, because if I can get a double stun off, then just shoot a couple rockets, I can completely finish the overloads. That's probably the fastest way to do it. But then that means that you have to use a rocket launcher on the illusion, on the worm boss, which is a pain, because by the time your rocket ends up hitting the worm, his damage window is done, and then you miss, you end up wasting rockets. So linear is the best thing for the worm. Rocket is the best thing for the 2 overloads at the end. But yeah, so I was just planning on using my super right here, get rid of all these ads real quick. And they almost kill me. Part of that was the ads from behind me as well, and I thought the overloads were even going to kill me here, but somehow I survived. But so if you'd ever get off the pike, if you don't waste any time, I mean, you have a whole minute to deal with these 2. So I think the worst thing you could do at the end here is panic. Just realize that you should have enough time to take him out, like even just with the Monarque. On legend difficulty, there's only 1 overload here, if that. Because on the difference between legend and master, I mean, they're both, like, if you're at power, legend's just as difficult as master. But the difference is there aren't as many champions. So like wherever you see champions in master, sometimes in legend they'll be replaced with like ultras. But anyways, plenty of time, got it done. So that's this week's mission. So hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, comment. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.